I'm going to say something that might sound simple, but it carries weight in the spirit. There was a time when I woke up every morning thinking I was in control of my life. I had routines, I had plans, I had intentions, but what I didn't understand was that the first moments of my morning were either opening doors for God or leaving them wide open for something else. And as someone who once operated deep in the occult, I need you to hear this carefully. Mornings are not neutral. In the spiritual realm, your morning is an entry point. It's a gate. It's a legal access window. What you do in those first moments determines what has permission to follow you throughout the day. I remember being part of rituals where assignments were released at specific hours, especially early morning. Why? Because most people wake up spiritually unguarded. No prayer, no covering, no awareness, just straight into distraction, stress, and noise. That's when influence is easiest. So when I tell you that doing just 3 specific things every morning can shift your entire atmosphere, I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking from what I saw happen on the other side. I've seen people's days be manipulated before they even brushed their teeth. I've seen confusion planted before conversations even began. I've seen favor delayed simply because someone didn't align themselves spiritually at the start of the day. But I've also seen the opposite. I've seen what happens when someone wakes up and immediately establishes authority. Everything changes. Opportunities open. Peace becomes stable. Protection becomes noticeable. And favor starts showing up in ways that can't be explained naturally. So today, I'm going to show you the 3 things you must do every single morning, not as a ritual, but as alignment. Because once you understand this, you won't start your mornings the same way again. Before your phone, before your thoughts start running, before the world starts speaking to you, you must speak first. This is where most people get it wrong. They wake up and immediately receive notifications, worries, memories, stress. But in the spirit, whoever speaks first often sets the tone. When I was involved in occult practices, we understood something very clearly. Unclaimed spaces are easily influenced. And your morning atmosphere is exactly that, if you don't claim it. So the first thing you must do when you wake up is simple, but powerful. Open your mouth and declare, not silently, not in your head, out loud. Declare peace over your home. Declare protection over your body. Declare clarity over your mind. Declare that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Because when you speak, you're not just making noise, you're establishing authority. I've seen how silence gives room for interference. But I've also seen how one person speaking truth can shut down entire assignments before they even begin. Don't wait until something feels wrong to pray. Set the environment before anything has a chance to enter. Even if you feel tired, even if your voice is low, even if it's just a few sentences. Do it anyway. Because in that moment, you're not reacting, you're leading. Let me be direct with you. One of the biggest spiritual traps in this generation is the phone. And I'm not saying your phone is evil, but I am telling you this. What you connect to first thing in the morning matters more than you think. When I was on the other side, distraction was one of the easiest tools to use against people. Not fear, not attacks, just distraction. Because a distracted mind is an unguarded mind. And if the first thing you do every morning is scroll, check messages, or absorb content, you are allowing external voices to shape your internal state before God does. That's dangerous. Instead, you need to create a moment of separation, even if it's just 5 minutes. Sit up, be still, breathe, and intentionally turn your focus toward God. Not forced, just present. You don't need complicated words. You don't need long prayers. Just sincerity. God, I'm here. Lead me today. That alone shifts something, because presence invites alignment, and alignment invites favor. I've seen how powerful it is when someone chooses stillness over noise. It disrupts patterns. It breaks cycles. It re-centers the soul. Your day doesn't need more information. It needs direction. And direction comes from connection, not distraction. Now, this is the part most people skip. They pray, they declare, they feel good for a moment, but then they go back to living the same way. And this is where favor gets delayed. Because favor is not just about what you say, it's about what you do next. When I was deep in occult systems, I saw how consistency created results. Not emotion, not intention, consistency. And the same principle applies here, but in a righteous way. Every morning, after you declare and connect, ask yourself one question. What is one thing I can do today that aligns with God's will? It doesn't have to be big. It could be forgiving someone. It could be choosing honesty. It could be walking away from something you know isn't right. It could be helping someone quietly. But that one act of obedience activates something, because obedience is proof of alignment. And alignment attracts favor. I've seen people pray for open doors while ignoring the instructions already given to them. That creates delay. But when someone acts, when they move in alignment, even in small ways, things begin to shift quickly. Opportunities come, connections form, protection increases, not because they forced it, but because they aligned with it. You might be wondering, can something this simple really make a difference? Let me answer you honestly. Yes. Because what you're doing is not creating a ritual. You're establishing a pattern of authority, connection, and obedience. You're taking control of your morning in a way that most people don't. And in the spiritual realm, that stands out. I've seen how people who ignore their mornings stay stuck in cycles, confusion, delay, frustration. But I've also seen how those who take even a few intentional minutes begin to experience something different. Peace that doesn't shake easily, clarity in decisions, unexpected favor, protection they didn't even ask for. And it all traces back to how they started their day. Not perfectly, not religiously, but intentionally. CHTR fee female, war ring and invto. Let me leave you with this. Doing nothing in the morning is still a decision. And that decision has consequences. You either start your day covered and aligned, or you start it open and reactive. There's no neutral ground. So tomorrow morning, don't overthink it. Wake up, speak, disconnect, connect, and take one step of obedience. That's it. It may feel small at first, but stay consistent, because what starts as a simple habit can become a powerful shift in your entire life. And one day, you'll look back and realize the favor you were praying for started showing up the moment you changed how you started your mornings. See,